First rule of slap fight is you don't talk about slap fight. Is that what it is?
I have no idea.
All
I'm
right,
not
so
the
you
slap fighting type, if you didn't notice.
No, what were you going to say? You were going to say...
No, I was going to say I am feeling good. I'm wearing my bubble earrings today. And I got my Virgo stone to protect me in Virgo season. What?
It's
Happy
your
birthday
season,
to
baby.
all my Virgos out there. It's my season.
Yeah. So we'll share all that season with everybody else, hopefully. So.
Yes. Welcome, everyone, to the Then When podcast. We're your hosts,
Serina
and Mary. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so happy to have you here,
absolutely
listening
thrilled
to us or watching us wherever you are.
Yeah, man, we have been going through our own little kind of review or personal reviews of kind of the last 3 months. And I know we've been on, our episodes and we've kind of taken some breaks here and there. And that's a little indicative of kind of our approach to some of our projects that we've had kind of in the hopper. So we figured that we would spend some time kind of diving into that a little bit this time and seeing what we can do, because momentum is great when momentum's great. And then when you get completely stalled, you got to reach out. So this is kind of a reach out session here, I think. So.
Yeah, totally. And I think, though, it's okay to have these moments of breaks and things. For sure, one day, are we going to slam out one episode a week every Then Wednesday? Absolutely. We're going to have tons of stuff in the hopper. But to be honest, it's kind of not where we are right now, right? And I think, and this is what I thought you were going to say before, I think the way we've been putting out our podcasts over the summer is kind of indicative of the space that we've been in our own personal lives, right?
100%.
And isn't there something to be said for that? I don't know. That's kind of how I feel.
And we only know how to be authentically ourselves. So that's literally all we're going to put out there, guys. So if you're coming along for the ride and you're just kind of pacing yourself with us too, just understand, be soft, be gentle. We're trying to do the same things for ourselves here. So, yeah. There's always this moment, and I know, Mary, we've talked about trying to keep each other accountable and sending things to each other to say, hey, check in on me on this particular thing. So I'm going to admit to everybody in the audience, I have been terrible to Mary. I have not kept her on top of her. And that is not to make it about me.
Guys.
It really, really isn't. I was just well, shoot, man, I really because I want to see you thrive. And to kind of come back to a point where you were saying about us not always hitting, do we want to hit every Then Wednesday with an episode? Heck yeah. But you know what that means is that we are actually doing something on those Wednesdays when we're not having these episodes. So we're trying to progress our own little space and asking for our step back so we can look at all of that. So with that, Mary,
we're just
humans
too. Oh, dude, I totally get it. But also to say your words back to you, I know that you care about me and you want to see me thrive and you support me in all these ways.
Big love.
And also you're a person going through your own stuff and, whatever, it's all good. But here you are checking in on me now. And honestly, it's a good time to check in because I was, asking you to kind of hold me accountable for the month of August. And here we kind of are towards the end of it. So I think it's a perfect time. So actually, don't be so hard on yourself, Missy.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying you are perfect because you are doing this at the best time. And so we'll get to that later in this episode. For now, we kind of want to take a step back and talk about how to get started. Last episode, we talked with Dana about how to put your stuff into going from idea to finishing. Ultimately, this is what she said, right? And honestly, for me, sometimes finishing a project is tough because stuff starts getting in the way and then I kind of forget about it and then I may get back to it. What about you, though? I'm curious, how do you go from idea to to starting the project?
Well, first and foremost, I do tap into a lot of sitting, reflecting, and kind of planning in a sense. So I'm a bit of a planner. I love my lists, but I also love to kind of ideate what my steps are going to be, right? I have the big idea. I love the big idea. And then part of my overactive brain says you have to do everything to the book, to the letter. You know, you have to have all your milestones, and I'm not a huge, like, super organized person for myself in that, but I do follow, I guess, my belly button, but I follow my curiosity, right? And
Yeah.
so when I feel like it's something I need to learn about, I actually don't really start until I'm learning. However, what I have to accept is learning is starting. So if anybody else out
Yes.
there is struggling with giving themselves a little bit of credit and taking a pressure off of them, is actually consuming information to ready yourself, is already starting what you're going to practice. So,
Totally. You're
yeah.
taking action on that thing. And you
Mhm.
brought up something that I totally love and have been thinking about recently. Like, we are the ones that tell ourselves our stories, right? Especially in our
Yes.
own head. And so, why am I going to bum myself out with being like, oh man, I still haven't done that shell project. I still have those shells from last year. No, I could be like, you know what? I washed the shells today. Yay, I feel so good
Step
about that.
1,
First off, I collected them and brought them home. Step
pre-step,
one
yes.
done, right? Step two, wash
Preparation.
them.
Yay!
So it's like, how do we
Step
want
3,
to think
profit,
about these
right? No, I'm
things?
just kidding.
Profit. On tons of art projects that hopefully I'll gift to people. I don't know. I don't want all that
Yeah.
stuff in my house.
Well,
But
some of
yeah,
that
like,
is,
how do we then take action on these things?
well, and that's kind of to a point with what you were just saying, is like what your item is or what your thing is, you have an outcome that provides you some kind of boon, some kind of purposeful flourish inside of you. Is, I just heard you say, I would gift these. And you
Yeah.
have, there's always these major gifting events and such, but it really is where you're feeling drawn or pulled. And if I can envision, say, the recipient of something, and I can work, and usually that's the hardest I work, is when I have somebody I'm giving something to or working for. Never,
Hmm.
never do I accept it as myself and go, well, I'm just going to do this for the hell of it, just because I
I
want to
know,
do it.
right?
But,
Yeah.
and I'm working on that. But to
Right.
your
Aren't we all?
point, yeah, start with the, if you think about where that initial effort is going to go to, if you do have an end result, you do have an end recipient to it, you might be able to just envelop that entire project in the care and love and that satisfaction of bringing joy to that other person or value.
Yeah.
So,
And that makes
yeah.
sense because it's kind of like then it's that altruistic part of you,
Hmm.
that feels good for doing something for someone else and maybe that's motivating. Although now I want to kind of think about why we don't do that to ourselves. Just like what you said, like why
Hmm.
isn't enough for me to be like I don't know, satisfied with the process of this project, or have something creative to work on.
Yeah.
And sometimes it totally is a motivating factor for me that gets me to do those things for sure. But
Mhm.
for me, it's more carving out the time to do that, right?
Yes.
When do I feel like it's worth it to carve out the time? Oh my God, I'm saying so many things right now that I'd call myself
Are you,
out on.
I was like, are you hearing yourself right now? Yeah, for
I
sure.
know.
But, it's true. No
Damn.
matter how much we want to operate in this wonderful, like, super aware space and then go, yeah, I'm going to give myself that time. I'm going to give myself that effort. It's still, when you're juggling so many things, when you are prioritizing and deprioritizing in this constant state, it's no wonder these things kind of fall off of your plate. And
Yes.
what do you do for slowing down time? Because I am still working through things that work for me. Is there anything that works for you, Mary?
Well, I take all the powers in my mind and then I put no I'm kidding.
Wah, 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 wah.
What slows down time? You know what? I have found like when I can find some time in my day, right? So it's just like noticing when is there some time where I could do something that I want. You know what? I think about this a lot more is when I have a puzzle on the table because it's like kind of out of the way where I don't see it all the time. But then
Mm-hmm.
when I see it, I'm like, ooh, the puzzle is out, you know, like
Oh,
maybe I could use 10 minutes here or, 20 minutes, or then it turns into maybe 30. It depends, or less if the puzzle
and
is frustrating. But
I was like, how far you are in the puzzle, because then you're like,
yeah.
commenting. So, do you
So
have?
for me, it's more like having that visual there draws me to, oh yeah, I'm remembering that I want to be doing this, right? But when it's like my art stuff, that stuff is like tucked away on a shelf to be organized, right? But then I totally forget about it. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like finding these moments where I feel like I can swap activities. Like instead of being on my phone, I can do one of those things, right? Or instead of watching TV one night, I can do these things.
yeah. You need a station set up
Yeah.
that's intentional.
Yes.
Something
Oh
that you
my
can.
gosh.
Well, I was just, and I was going to rudely cut you off, but it was like, essentially,
Do it.
not really, not so rudely, and lovingly cut you off. Is
Of
I
course.
think you need a puzzle table. I think you need a dedicated puzzle table
Yes.
because those you
I'm
could
searching
scoot.
for one.
Oh, well, we'll have to check out there. If anybody out there
Yes.
has
We'll
some
have to.
great recommendations for puzzle
A
tables, something
puzzle.
that,
Yes.
yeah, you could tuck away if you
I've
don't
been
need to and
searching
bring it
for
back out.
one. Exactly. I was
Uh-huh.
searching for one that's like a square. Even though that's not great for puzzles, but like it would be good for also a chess table, but
Uh-huh.
something where the stools go in underneath fully. So it
Okay.
could be like one structure, but then also it could be a table for a couple people.
We're on the hunt. So
We're on
great.
the hunt. So
Yeah.
this is where I channel my inner Serena and go, you know what? I'm hunting for this item because I love when you do that. You like, I don't know if stuff finds you or you're just hunting for specific things, but when you find them, like that room that you just did, oh, mwah, chef's kiss, all those items on the wall,
Mm,
I want for my own home. And they are so you though, too. I love
well,
them.
I have got to give a major shout out, and this has been a dream of mine. The first entry point into this hearth of the home here is a space that I've been wanting to kind of reimagine as this welcoming hug. The hug first anti energy that we bring, but I, it
Who
really
says that
is
about
something
their
like that.
home? You're the best. Oh my God, a welcoming
Well,
hug.
somebody honestly, out of the blue, and quick sidebar, I had a friend come in from out of town. He walked into the house and he went, and I was like, "What?" He goes, "Your house just hugged me," and I was like, "Ah!" I was like, "That's literally everything I've ever wanted in my home. Is like for
Whoa.
you to feel welcome, for you to feel loved, for you to feel safe, and just to
Aw.
be able to have that." So, over
Yeah.
some
Well, your home felt like
iterations.
that before the reimagining.
Thank you. But
Yes.
for me, it was one, maybe I needed it to hug me too. Maybe that's what I
Oh,
needed. And I needed to ask, the house to do that for me too. So
yeah.
I've had my Pinterest board like every good overthinker does. And I have a whole
Okay.
bunch of ideas. And I shared it with
And
my
that's how you
friend.
start?
Yeah, that's how I start. Is I start by
Okay.
going, I have a flavor. I want to throw it down. I want to put it some places like a mood board, right? Vision
Yeah.
boards. I'm a very visual person. So that
Mm-hmm.
whole process is, hey, I'm trying to invite this feeling, this design, all of this kind of energy into my space, into my process and all that. And I was able to connect with my friend Roanna, and I will definitely just amplify her. She's amazing at what she does. And
Shout out.
shout out to Roanna Bales and Radiantly Roanna. And so she and I sat down and she's like, "Do you trust me?" I said, "Yes." And then I was trying to overhelp.
Wow.
And she was so beautiful and gracious about me trying to overhelp because I was like, "Ooh, what do you think about this?" And she's like, "Yeah, all right, I'm trying to keep you to your aesthetic." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, I'm all over the place." So we had this really great and honest to goodness, like
Honest conversation.
yeah, and I welcome it. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
tell me when I'm too much. I really I really understand that sometimes I get really excited and I'm like, "Ooh, I want to collaborate
Yeah.
so bad," but then sometimes I have to trust someone else. And so, yeah, so it was kind of a variation of us going back and forth. And then just finally I went, I'm going to put my blinders on and I'm going to cool my jets and I'm just going to let her run. And boy, did she
Okay.
do such an amazing job. So I cannot
So,
take
so
credit other than
great.
trusting the process and kind of starting with the mind meld first. And she clocked
Can
my
we
design and style.
can
Go
we
for
put
it.
a picture on social media?
I will definitely. I'll put it on our yeah, why not? And then I'll even boost her listing of it too, because she did a nice little blurb and everything too. So I'll put that out there. But
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. We'll get that all up. Check out Serena's front room. It is a hug in a home. It is so lovely. Just like you,
Aw.
sweetie.
Well, no, I mean, and the thing is that it's
That's
also
great.
welcoming everybody who feels comfortable to share that with me and, my home too. So people walking in are bringing their own home to 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 kind of meld. So I really appreciate that and I really welcome that. And to me, it's another space where I can sit and start, putting more of my plans and designs for my internal self, external self in that room. So it really inspires
Yeah.
that. So finally, I
Yeah.
not that it was a check mark to get off, but it was definitely one of those looming projects that I've finally done or finally completed. So, or
Yay.
with help, everyone, don't be afraid to ask for help. So, yeah,
Totally, right? Utilize your friends' gifts. I think that is so lovely.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
you get to
so
see them
great.
shine.
Oh,
Oh, it's
yeah.
incredible. You get to see them be the best versions of themselves. And it's just an absolute honor in so many ways
Hmm.
for that. So, yeah.
That is so
But,
lovely. Oh,
oh, but
so nice to be
yeah.
your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, and to have something that you then can enjoy, right? Once
Mm,
that project is done, it's like, ooh, look what I did. That's
mm-hmm.
that thing. I think for me, like a lot of times I get distracted. Oh my gosh, especially with home stuff. And you're inspiring me to like be more intentional with what I'm doing with the space. Because for me, like I'm the kind of person that's like, oh, I want something here. I've got that. Let me throw it up here. I'm going to throw this up here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were talking before, it kind of changed my mindset on that a little bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to think about what I'm doing with this space. What does this space want to bring me?
Well, I
So
mean,
thank you for opening
yeah.
my eyes up to that. I am in the middle of like, I don't know, trying to get our dining room kind of like more together.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
maybe
You,
I'm going to think more on that. Like,
s
and you
s
know what? Let that be the first step in that. Actually, you know what? To be honest, let me give myself some credit, past
credit.
Mary. I did, thank you. I did write out or draw out a little like blueprint of a sketch idea a while
Yay.
back, and it's just sitting in the drawer. But I have taken that
Stick that up
first
on the
step.
wall. Put the tape, put it up on the wall
Yes.
so you
Okay, I'm
see it.
going to.
Yeah, yeah. That's your
Okay,
first,
thank
that's
you.
your
I'm going to
next
put on the
step.
bulletin
Yeah.
board
Yep,
and
yep.
see it because you're right. What I just said before is when I see it, that's when I do it, right? Or that's when I think about it more. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't
And
don't
it's
art
so
supply
nice to
your
live
blueprint.
in. No, you're totally right. It's nice to live in the things that you do. Like whenever I put stuff up, I'm like, oh, this feels good. I like that there, you know?
Yeah. And you
It's
spend it.
nice to
It
have it.
invites you into it and to interact with it. And Mary, I'm actually going to a little bit like a precursor on this and thank you for your inspiration. Um, I will say that a lot of times when people are homeowners or even in rentals and stuff like that, when you're living in your home, there's a lot of times where you're almost afraid to pull the trigger on something that could shift something. And a lot of people go, oh, what about the resale ability of this decision? And I'm like, well, right now I'm living in this and I want to love this place that I'm in and I want to be welcomed in this place. So a coat of paint can change it back to something if and when you're thinking about selling something, but
Yeah.
live fully in your space, really embrace the area around you as best you can. And if it's just a coat of paint, do it, and
Right.
and your youngest inspired that in me when I came to visit and
Aw.
you had your little paint projects on your wall. I mean, they weren't like a full scale, like whole remodel, but
Yeah.
took it outside of the box and you said, you know what? We need to have these little pockets of whimsy throughout the house. So, and I can't help but smile thinking about it whenever I think of the video of the painting happening or finding the rainbow in the closet. I mean, it's just, it's lovely. And I think more people should embrace the fact that actively and unapologetically take up your space that you have and
Totally.
really love it, you know, the best you can. And you'll find that it opens up, it unblocks the things that have been stopping you from starting other things. So, you know,
yes,
take your
right. Then you
steps.
kind of get that momentum, right? And you
Mhm.
feel good. You're contacting that like reinforcement of good feelings. And then
Yeah.
like when people comment on it, then you're like, oh my God, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do such a good job of that. Honestly, you inspire that of me. Like, look at your background versus my background.
Mine's a chaotic, controlled chaos mess, you know, and
but
yeah.
mine is very sparse and whatever. But the thing is that whenever I take meetings from your office, I always get positive comments about the background.
Like,
And everybody's always like, oh my gosh, where are you? Are you on the other side of your office? I'm like, no, dude, unfortunately not.
You have figured out my secret, Mary, is I show up for meetings because I'm like, oh, all right, I got some big stuff to talk about. But then I'm like, but look at all these distractions. Let's not talk about any of that stuff. And so, yeah, so there's a part of me that's like,
Good.
Let's play instead of work, you know? And yeah, I think that's another motivator too, to come back to something you've asked, is that when you can find that element of play, of lightness in what you're doing, and bring it forward into your work, I think you're going to be more inclined to keep the momentum going than anything being a slog. So, so maybe the slogs are where the blocks and the challenges are where you put up your little flag and go, hey, I need some help over here, you know? So, yeah,
for me, it's kind of like holding me, telling other people helps hold me accountable, you know, for doing something like these shell projects. I got these shells here.
All right,
Dude,
let's look at them. Put them in the screen.
So now they're visual. Okay, you want to see what I got going on?
Yeah, bring them forward for the audience here.
So I got 3 different projects here. Let's say I've got this giant shell for all those a scallop. And I'm going to do that thing where you take a napkin and you put the print on it and then you kind of decorate it. Yeah, decoupage. Thank you. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then look at these cool shells that I found at the beach.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Mussels, but then they have this hole in the middle, and it inspired me for earrings. So I thought they'd be some like cool earrings.
Those would really be great. Yeah, I can see those already. All right.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I'm just going to do a recall back to your fantastic bubbly earrings that you have on today, too.
I know. So, aren't they great?
I got
them from a local artist in Georgia. Yeah. Maybe we'll have her on.
Yeah, we'll have to hook it up.
But yeah. So, and then I've got these tiny little seashells here.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah. And those I want to make earrings or maybe like some necklace thing. I don't really know.
A collection of human teeth necklaces. Just kidding.
No, that would be weird.
Don't have that. Ethically sourced.
You would have shark teeth for sure.
Well, yeah, if I'm
sure you have a shark tooth or two.
I might. Hold on, because here's how I'm going to help keep you accountable, Mary.
Okay, tell me.
Is I am going to go through one of my 5 jars I inherited from a neighbor when they were moving. Yeah, 5. So I'm just going to say I've got 2 of them right here, but 3 more in, yeah, it's insane. And so if anybody has a shell project, or maybe we just get a small little pop-up group of us getting together, and depleting the shell stash that I have here in some
save
kind of
it for our
form.
pop-up.
Yeah.
Then when are we going to pop up?
Ooh, we'll have to figure that out. So stay tuned,
Yeah, that would be
everyone.
fun. We'll do some shell work at our next pop-up.
Yeah, so I can at least come and help and sing along here with you if we want to do just a session where we body double with each other, or at least I can body double for you, since it will help kind of keep those accountabilities. I mean, I think it's a common practice for people who need just a little bit of motivation, is to say, I need just somebody to have their eyes on me. They don't need to do the same thing. They don't need to help me. I just feel like I need to perform under that circumstance in the best possible way. So
Yeah, for
Yeah.
me, when I was writing my book, I would do that by going to cafes. So, like, I didn't even need to meet up with anyone, but I needed to be in a public space where
Okay.
people could see if I was typing or not.
Well, did they know that's what you were there for? Because I almost kind of
No,
thought
they
when you were
didn't.
saying
Nobody,
that.
I didn't talk to anyone.
Could you
Surprisingly,
imagine?
I know.
All right. Are there actual like writers like gatherings where everybody's like, we're going to get together like a silent book reading club, but it's like a silent
Yes, I'm sure.
writers, guild that gets together and just sits there looking at each other, typing and making sure that they're typing. I would do that,
Yeah.
but all of my stuff would be gobbledygook because I'd just be like slamming the keyboard, like, like a
Not really
Luddite.
typing. You're like, this is great.
It's fine.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure
geez.
there's like groups out there where people hold each other accountable. I mean, there's like running groups, there's book clubs,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess all of those things are really like accountability groups,
I'd agree.
in a way,
Hmm.
as well as social groups, those are great.
Yeah.
I just
So
recently became part of a book club and I have been reading more than ever. And I count listening to books reading. So, because, I
I
live in
do
my
if
own
you need to
head, why
get
wouldn't I?
through it, yet
Yeah.
you retain more detail if you read it versus having it read to you.
Sure. And listen, I will
I'm being
always read
snarky.
a real book because I
Yeah.
love turning the pages. I love the
Mm-hmm.
smell of the book. I love carrying it with me. I'm a giant book nerd. Okay. I love
Mm-hmm.
all aspects of it. But yeah, like if I just want to hear a story, I'm still hearing that story, right? Or still experiencing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't think if it's like that big of a deal. But yeah, I agree with you.
Right. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so there
So
is like accountability in groups. So that is a way that Mary, you found that it's been helpful for you, it sounds like.
yeah, accountability is definitely helpful. Like even just little stuff like, telling a friend like, "Hey, at the end of the day, can you ask me about this thing?"
Mm-hmm.
Just so, you get it done. Or I use the reminder app on my phone a ton. For me, it's though like how can I pivot when I did not meet my expectations for
Mm.
something that I'm working on, you
Okay.
know? And
Yeah.
so what does that look like? I mean, when I'm holding myself accountable, one way is by saying, "Hey, by this time frame, I want to do X, or Y." And like I did with you and I sent you that email. And I was looking at that the other day and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oof, I did not, I'm not going to meet one of those goals. And that sucks, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what am I going to do about it? Um, and I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to acknowledge what happened, right? Like
Okay.
what things got in the way.
All right.
And then, for me, the things that got in the way were more important in my life at that moment than this other thing that I wanted to work on, right? And so, I'm kind of okay with it, right? But the thing is like when I push it off too long, that's going to be the problem, right?
Right.
So how do I
Right.
pick it back up again?
So can I ask you something? And I'm going to give you a little loophole here and might help you
Yeah,
because this is the perspective you might need. You did
tell
not
me.
explicitly say by the end of August.
Oh, I didn't?
No, you said by the end of summer and not your kid's
Oh,
summer. I'll tell you that. All right. So you got some
so I still
time.
have until Labor Day.
So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, you have more time than that. What isn't it
There's
like
a chance.
essentially? so,
I
so
know.
yeah.
Well, for
So,
me,
what
the
does that
end of
change for
summer is
you?
August.
Yeah, well, it's not
Um, I mean, the
technically
thing is, I'm not going to be able to do all of that work, right? Between now and Labor Day. There's not
not
enough time,
not all of it.
not
Could you
all
do
of it, but
some?
I can
Could
get
you do
started
start?
on it for sure.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. Can I start? 100%. And I totally am when my kids are in school so that I have totally no distractions.
Yeah.
And because I need to be like recording myself.
Hmm.
So there's that, right? But yeah, getting ready for it. I'm still like, hitting other goals that I've
Yeah.
set, which feels good.
Good.
But I think it's also taking into perspective like what I did with that time. If I sat on my ass and did nothing and I was like scrolling on my phone or
Hmm.
whatever, and that's what sucked up all that time, I would be incredibly disappointed in myself, right? And I would have a different kind of mindset on it. But because it was other stuff that's also important to me that I was doing, that kind of took precedence and feels good to have done anyway, So
Can I tap a little bit into your behavioral nerdy analysis brain? Because I know you like that getting tickled every once in a while. Is how much of the processing and the motivation and momentum of doing something that you have signed yourself up for gets lost in shame? Like, how much of a factor do you feel that shame plays into the restart, essentially?
Yeah, that's such a good question.
Mm.
I think it plays into it a lot. I don't have any scientific facts to give you about this.
I might send you off on a side quest.
Well, the thing is that behavior is more science-based stuff, So they want to say things based off of research and evidence and all of these things, right? But what you're talking about is something that, modern psychology is now, taking into account, and modern behavioral is how your emotions impact your behaviors. And that's a lot of that ACT work that I talk about. But it's so true. How does shame stop you from doing the things that you want to be doing because you feel shameful about a part of it? That's a lot of the work that I do with people, And so it's for what I like to share is how do you want to carry that shame? How much weight do you want to give it? Are you going to let it weigh you down, or can you carry it in a different capacity, right? Can you give it less weight so that you're able to carry it easier?
So I feel like kind of the two approaches, or there might be more than two approaches. Let me say that. And it's there's the your camp, right? Is you like to share with somebody to make sure that they keep, or you have accountability, right? To that person and to that idea being shared. And then there's the other camp of keep it quiet till it's done, right? Because if you think about it, shame is a driver almost in both of those kinds of practices, right? Yours is the accountability might be tethered to an element of shame that if you don't complete what you're doing, you are a disappointment, or you have disappointed that promise almost you've made to sharing that information with someone. And now they have an idea of you that you're not, completing it if you don't complete it, right? Or that you are commendable because you completed it and with extra time, kind of thing. So, and extra credit.
That was never me. No, I was handing in shit late all the time.
Man, I still have a very pivotal moment of my procrastination where I was like, you know what, you're right. When my teacher was like, this could have been so much better if you didn't wait. She was like, this is good. But she's like, it could have been really good if you didn't wait until the last minute. I was like, I know. So, but then on the other side is keeping it quiet until it's done. Almost creates this internal hypercritic, right? Or if you're just going to feed the critic inside of you and you go, yeah, I'm not going to fulfill this, and why I didn't tell anybody because I know I'm not going to follow through. And then versus the thing stating, I wanted to get it done because I didn't want the outside influence of you'll never get this done, because some people are kind of anti-cheerleaders, right? And I'd like to think that everybody is operating
Don't let those people
from the
in
girl,
your life.
the good. Yeah. You'd be like, no, thanks.
That's
you know what I've
yucky.
taken too, and this is my thing, is whenever somebody gives me that energy, I'm like, okay, so that's your brand.
Yeah. I know. Dude, I just saw someone the other day that I don't see very often at all, but he has a very distinct personality. And when we greeted each other and had our first interaction, he was like the way he's always been. And I just had the same thought. I was like, oh, so you're still like that. All right, guess I'm done with you.
Yeah. And to me, part of me is just going, I'm not trying to change this person, because they're going to be who they are, and they want to be who, if they want to show up as something different or follow along, that's great. But I can still be curious about their, what has made them up, because it still is very much something where I'm like, oh, please tell me more. I would love to, but I don't want it to be such a drain, off of if it's something that's hyper negative all the time. But it's, yeah, I feel like when I have kind of taken that approach, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I don't own that. Like that to me allowed me to accept the fact that I don't have anything to do with how they react. That's not my, burden to carry. And so in that same regard, I think that's also a lot of the things, like when I'm staying quiet to keep my thing, and to work through my stuff, is because part of me thinks that the same way is like, okay, I don't want to burden someone who's like highly empathic and wants to carry this with me. But then if somebody does want to genuinely show up and provide assistance, I have to accept that, same thing.
Yeah.
And even if I'm just like, no, I've got to do it all myself, that's on me. Right.
Yeah.
And to acknowledge their help. But
yeah. Oh my God, you said so many things that lit up my brain. Like, I mean, what does it say for like that shame that you carry inside, by yourself? Ouch. That when you said that was so heavy. I mean, we've all been there, obviously.
Yeah. And I mean, it's hard to not
rough.
like to disconnect it, but it really is something that we sit here, you and I, we love each other. We boost each other, we're real with each other too. I mean, it doesn't always make it onto the podcast, but like we really do have those kinds of conversations with each other that is all about the constant evolution and betterment, for ourselves, for each other, for even our relationship when it comes down to it too. And we would never talk to each other in the ways that we talk to ourselves. Like you and I both, have been very, very honest about that and going, wow, just think of me being the person you're talking to and then work through it. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And, talk to yourself like a friend would.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we're being so hard on ourselves.
Yeah. And try a ridiculous pep talk in the mirror if you want to, and just laugh and be joyous in it, and try reframing the way that you're feeling about not completing something, as the opposite. Try to find the other way to flip that and go, okay, what is that I have done? Like, and that's why when you're talking about like taking the first step, washing the shelves, whatever the major
collecting was the first step. Come on.
Well, sorry, I'm not trying to take it. Like you have you put in the effort to collect. Do you collect with the intention to do that work with them?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, well, dang.
But honestly,
right.
I do it every time I go to the beach, but I never do anything with them. Like I have shells from years and years in my garage, which I found because I cleaned out my garage.
Like, listen to you.
That was a then when for me.
A garage clean out is so huge. That's not light work there. And
yeah, I know.
A garage cleanup for a family of 5, I think you're doing freaking amazing. That's
lots of bicycles.
Hey, lots of shoes.
Lots of shoes. Oh my God, the shoes. Yeah, no, but it felt so good. And now you know what? I'm in my garage and I feel good instead of feeling like, ugh, I got to clean out this freaking garage.
Yeah. And like you're running through, like you'd hop in your car before and just zip out just so you didn't have to steep in that space. And now you're like, I'm going to take my time.
Now I love my garage. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sweeping it out like a good German I am.
Yes. Well done.
Did
you wear your socks and sandals while you were doing it? Like a good German.
Always. Well, not in the summertime. I just wear sandals. But
no excuses.
In other seasons, socks with sandals always.
So,
not black socks, regular socks, obviously.
Why not?
I just feel like it's always black socks, like the really tall ones.
Compression socks.
Or I guess white ones. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Anyway, I digress.
Let's going, Mary. All right.
Yeah.
This is live. Well, live as can be action here is you're probably still wanting to keep some element of privacy around the thing that you're trying to do. Yeah.
Okay.
The thing that you have told me in the email that you wanted, as in you're not publicizing it across the pod platform here, but what can you do between now and September 21st, because that's the end of summer, by the way, or 22nd, like midday,
Okay.
Between now and then, what are the steps that you can put together to make you feel like you have done the work towards the thing and to keep this momentum? Is there anything that you want to share here, or are you just thinking about it right now? And do you think deep down, is that possible for you?
No, I totally agree. Thank you for holding me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
I think all I really have left to do is record the stuff, right? So I'm at the last step, which for me is notorious the step that I stop at and start something else.
You're so close to the goal. You're so close to the goal.
I hate that.
My beautiful sibling just
it.
shared this is the reason why this gets so tough, because somebody asked into this group like chat was, why does it get so tough when you get so close to the goal? It's like, think about sports. Think about sports, right? Think about basketball. Think about football, whatever. The closer you get to your goal, the pressure is the highest, right? Because you're about to break through. You are about to complete it. So don't give up. Keep press, and you will get to the other side and you'll go, oh, okay, that's how it happened,
Yeah.
So don't let that counter pressure talk you out of it. You've got it. You totally have it. And I understand like all of the distractions and all the pulls and all the directions that we, can move into, but you are so close and you've got this,
I
so
know. I just have to do it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's recording.
Right. You know what?
You need some help?
Yeah. No, I want to try to do it by myself. Thank you.
Hey, all good.
I lean on you too much, I feel like sometimes in that space. So I want to try to like prove myself to myself.
All right. Well, I'm here cheering you, watching for it. And I'm also here if you put up your hand, okay? So you just let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know you're here for me. I honestly, though, felt this way the other day at a roller coaster. I was like in line starting to get really scared. And then
talk about it.
I was like, I got to do it. I said, I got to do it to prove to myself that I could do things that are freaking scary. And I was so scared. And I was like, nobody talk to me. But you know what? It wasn't that bad. Yeah, I was like, please, I'm too scared to talk. No, but then I did it. And was it the best ride of my life? No, but I was so proud that I accomplished that. So yay. Exactly.
Yay, Mary.
Thank you.
Good job getting on that roller coaster.
Thank you. Speaking of accomplishments, though, I want to boost your garden, dude. I have like heard about this garden for, like through the winter and whatnot, and you did it. And I love that you enlisted people too to help you.
Well, I will tell you, it started with my just sheer desire. We've had a torrential rain here that's turned into a jungle. So everything's starting to overgrow and everything. But except for this one side of my house that has these like busted up shrubs that have just been sticks for at least 2 years now. So this has been a long time coming. And so finally, I had a friend who he's really adept in the garden, and he got me going and he got me started, and he was showing me the ways to use certain things and the better ways to, because I'm like, just take a shovel, pull it out. And he's like, no, this is like the other things that you can do, and made it a lot easier. So, I got to see him. He shared that with me. Our schedules didn't totally line up for a while. And so I started doing the other things. So I'm out there with a little axe, taking out all the volunteer trees in the backyard, and then starting to pull all those other shrubs up. And I've had, the materials to do it. I went to the hardware store and I got barrels upon barrels of like mulch and soil and everything. And there's a gent behind me. He goes, is anybody helping you with this? And I was like, no, I got this. And I'm literally loading like these huge bags of soil into my car. And one of the ladies comes in. She's like, do you need some help? And I was like, I'm down to 2 bags out of like 20, girl. I got this. She goes, women really are powerful. I said, that's right, sis.
Yeah, we are.
So thank you.
That.
I mean, it's still a loving work in progress. Like I'm still nurturing and watching things die and then putting other things in and just trying to see what works and getting ready for the next crop, the autumn and winter crops. So thank you so much, Mary.
Awesome.
It was a
Yeah,
lot of
dude.
fun, and I love getting my hands dirty.
Good.
And actually, other people who were like, "Hey, I don't have a garden. I just want to put my hands in the dirt." I was like, "Come on over." So
Well, that's
what we
awesome.
did. Yeah.
Great.
So
And
thank you.
meanwhile, when you have to harvest it, I hope you're wearing that harvest dress you got when I was down there. It's so
Yes,
great. Put
I
it
will
in
have
your
to take
apron.
a picture. I want to get a gnome hat so I can actually like totally embody the full gnome core that I am. So I was like,
yes.
So yes,
I love it. All right.
you.
When that outfit gets together, we'll pop that in our social media too.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, listen, jump into our Discord, talk to us, let us know how you guys get started on things or how you finish something out. Share your tools and tricks with us.
Ask for help
or
too.
ask for help. Totally. Like we're here to build a community. So let's lift each other up, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just need to share with one another.
Absolutely.
So with that in mind, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the Then When podcast.
Thank you, Mary.
We're happy that you were here. Thank you, Serina, for holding me accountable. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us work through our stuff, too, and being patient with us as we grow this wonderful community and space here.
Yep. Love to you all. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the flip. I just stole Mary's.
Catch you on the flip.
Until when, everyone?
Until when, peeps. Bye.
So that's it for today's episode of Then When. Honestly, we could talk about this stuff forever, but we know you've probably got things to do, or at least a very long list of things you're thinking about doing.
It's been a blast, but before we head out, we want to hear from you. We're looking for your then and your when.
Exactly. If you've got a recent win you're proud of, that's your then. Or if there's a back burner dream item you've been putting off, that's your when.
Whether it's a total triumph or help, I'm procrastinating, we want to share your stories on the show.
Seriously, come say hi. You can DM us at thenwhenpod or shoot us an email. We can't wait to hear what you're working on.
Until next time, take care of yourself. We'll catch you on the flip.